Welcome. Really good to be back in this virtual space with you. If it's our first time meeting, I'm Justin Hilton. I'm the founder of Safe Place International. Safe Place International is an organization that works with LGBT refugees and single women around the world. I think we're in 21 countries now, and it grows every day. And this is part of a growing curriculum for our graduates and also for people who are interested in taking the full Dream Academy course but don't have time now and just want to sample some of what we offer. So if you're interested in the Dream Academy before or after this course, reach out to our registrar or talk to any graduate and they'll connect you with the right person. So today, I'd like to talk to you about empathy and understanding, and I'd like to do some processes and some exploration to see why empathy and understanding offer a lot to our relationships, to our quality of life, and to our basic inner peace and calm. So the opposite of empathy and understanding, and what most of us experience on a daily basis, is resentment and anger. Most of us can say that there is some person in our life that we have resentment towards, that we have judgment towards. And today we're going to have an opportunity to explore what the cost for us is of having that resentment and that anger. And we're going to take one person, we're going to pick one person from our life, and we're going to do a process to really unmask the nature of that resentment and that anger, how it affects our lives, and to begin to cultivate empathy and understanding and see what that might offer that particular relationship. But the real goal today is to see how empathy and understanding can be a powerful force in our life. So let's start off with just saying having empathy and understanding for someone doesn't necessarily mean that you like them. It doesn't mean that you want to be friends with them or you want them in your life. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have appropriate boundaries and that you're going to see if they're safe to be vulnerable with. It doesn't mean any of those things. What it really means is that you're willing to let go of toxic resentment and anger in your own body so that you have more energy to pursue the things that matter most to you, that are your priorities in life. And one added benefit, one that I really love about empathy and understanding for other people, is that it automatically cultivates love and compassion for ourselves. Because what we'll find in today's exploration is the same qualities that we're resenting in other people are qualities that at one time we've displayed, right? So what we're resenting in other people are things that we judge ourselves for. So as we let go of judgment and cultivate empathy and understanding for them, we also cultivate that same understanding for us and a lot of compassion along the way. So I wanted to start today with just thinking about where I've been challenged to have empathy in my life. And I wanted to start with a story about a long-time employee. I was doing real estate. I've done real estate most of my life. And I had an employee for 20 years, and he was a really trusted employee. And about 10 years into his employment, I discovered that he was taking money, that he had taken a sum of money. And I confronted him, and he admitted that he had done that. It was pretty clear from the bank accounts. And he paid that money back and repaired trust, and our relationship remained good after that. But then some years later, about 8 years later, I discovered once again that he had taken money. And this time when I looked inside, the right thing to do was to say, you can no longer work for me because I need to trust you, and I gave you that first chance, but we're going to have to part ways. And I found in myself a lot of resentment towards him and a lot of judgment. Like, why didn't he talk openly with me? We have, 18 years of trust between us. How could he do that? I felt really wronged. I felt really betrayed. I had all these feelings, and I was kind of running it over and over again. And in all the stories that I was making up, he was wrong and bad, and I was right. And how could this have happened to me? I was really a victim in the story. And I saw that this energy that I was building inside of me really was toxic. I wasn't able to focus on being a parent. I wasn't able to focus on the things that are important to me, being a leader of this work and doing the work that I want to do in the world, taking care of myself, because I was so plagued by this resentment and this story about how this person had betrayed me. And also, if I'm going to be honest, it was painful to me to be separate from this person. It was painful for me to have an 18-year relationship just abruptly end, and for me to be holding this person in contempt, to be judging them and to be making them wrong. That was painful in my body, if I'm really honest. It didn't feel good. So I did a lot of the work that we're going to do today to cultivate empathy. And some of the work that I did was understanding what might be happening in his life, understanding his perspective, understanding the kind of financial crisis that he may have been in, and the pride that he may have had to not tell me about that or not feel comfortable sharing his own vulnerability. And as I stepped into his skin, as I stepped in his shoes, my position softened, and I could really have a lot of empathy for him. And I could also have a lot of empathy for what it was like for him to have his boss for 18 years let him go. And on his side, what it was like for our relationship to not continue. And for him to lose his job and have to find a new job at, 58 years old. And as I cultivated that empathy and I softened inside, I didn't feel the urge to reach out to him because he wasn't open to that. But inside of myself, I held the prayer that he would do well and flourish. And from that, I sent him messages of affirmation and just validated that those two decisions, particularly that last decision he made to steal money, did not negate the fact that we had 18 years of trust, did not negate the fact that he did so many things for me and served me and helped me for all those years. So I think that's a really kind of important thing to think about with empathy and understanding. Often we have a relationship of trust and a relationship of intimacy with someone, and then something happens. There's a break in that trust, there's a feeling of betrayal, there's a misunderstanding, there's an event, and everything becomes very binary, black and white. It's like almost all of your history with that person goes out the window, and the relationship becomes about that one break in trust, which is often a break in understanding each other, empathizing with each other, and a trigger of early trauma, of past hurts. So we're going to look a lot at that, and I want to invite you, as I'm sharing a few of my stories, to start to think about people in your life, in your past and in your present, that you have resentment towards, that you have anger towards, that you have judgment towards. And I want you to question if the first conversation you have when I ask you that question or when I give you that invitation is, well, I don't resent anybody or I don't judge anybody. We all judge people, we're human. And we all resent people and we all have stories about each other, right? We all have relationships that have a lack of empathy and understanding. All of us do, guaranteed, as part of being human. So just to start to question your conversations inside that say, it doesn't matter to me, it doesn't affect me, live and let live, they can do whatever they want, I just do my own thing. We are interdependent. And when there's a break in relationship, it affects us. So part of the process we're going to do today is about getting honest about how it does affect us. How when there's a break in relationship, we feel it, we react to it. It affects all of our relationships. It affects our inner peace. It's toxic. It's really toxic. So I invite you into this level of honesty. As I'm sharing my story, I want you to be thinking about who in your life you've got resentment and anger towards. So I've never done this before, but I want to share about something that's very much in progress. I was in a 20-year relationship that brought two lovely 7.5-year-old children into the world, and the person that I shared my life with and thought that I would be taking my last breath with. And that relationship came to a point of separation about 1.5 years ago, and it's still in an ongoing process of separation. And when that relationship came to a separation, it came to separation because there was cheating, there was betrayal on my partner's part. And for me, there was so much devastation and so much anger. And my initial response was to tell my partner all the ways that he was wrong and all the ways that he was jeopardizing the children's future, throwing away 20 years for something that wouldn't matter to him in 6 months. And I spent a lot of energy and a lot of time making the case for how wrong he was. And as I made that case, we got more and more separate. And my world inside got more and more toxic until I came to the place of, by default, doing some of the work we're going to do today, which is stepping into his skin and starting to understand what was happening for him, being in his shoes and getting the struggle that he must be going through to make the decisions that he's making. And as I did that, all that resentment fell away, and I realized that this one event, this one shift, did not change the 20 years of connection and love and life that we shared, that I still had that tremendous love and positive regard for him, but that I was wounded inside, that I was deeply hurt, and that I was reacting to my hurt by making this person terrible and wrong and not extending empathy and understanding. And as I extended that empathy and understanding, I felt more and more warmth towards him and more compassion for what he must be going through and how this separation, even though on the surface he initiated, must be equally as hard for him. And as I did that, our relationship softened. The quality of our co-parenting increased, and our ability to collaborate together as we worked out all the really complex things we had to work out in separating a 20-year relationship and combined finances and the parenting of 2 children got a lot easier. Not to say that it's a cakewalk, but the real difference in that shift of having empathy and understanding with my partner was the peace in me. Because I could see and feel in my own body, it hurts to make someone you love wrong, someone you care about wrong, someone you respect wrong, someone that you've been in deep relationship wrong, to make them bad, to make them other. We've all experienced being judged. We've all experienced being made other, being related to like we're just a wrong, bad thing, not a whole person. So the invitation that I took and that we'll be taking together is to soften our positions about how things are and to look really at the cost of holding judgments, holding resentment in our own body to all aspects of our lives. So in the Dream Academy, we do so much deep work, and we uncover every aspect of what it means to be a human being as we develop ourselves as leaders. But all the work we do follows a 3-step process. And that 3-step process is basically we question and shift our beliefs and perspectives about ourselves and the world. So we question what we believe, we question how we see things. And then the second step is we bring that new awareness, that new insight into our bodies. We see where it lives in our chest, in our heart, in our legs. Because all those positions we hold in our mind also have an emotional place, a place in our body where we also hold it. So we want to not just be heads, because we've all made decisions like, I'm going to go work out, or I'm going to be a better person, or I'm going to be more generous. And when it's just made from the head, doesn't last very long. So we want to bring it down into the body and find that integration into the body and find alignment in the body. And then the third step is we take that mind-body integration out into our lives. We change our habits, we change our relationships, we make amends, we find forgiveness, we express our anger, we express our grief, we find ways to be generous, ways to be compassionate, ways to be empathetic in the real world. So we take action on the change that's happened in our mind and our body. That's a three-step process you're going to witness and experience in the work we do today, and you'll definitely witness and experience it firsthand in the Dream Academy, if at some point you choose to take the Dream Academy, or if you've already taken it, you know that to be true. So my hope is, within the short time that we've been together, you've started to think about some people in your life that you're holding resentment and judgment towards. And you've started to entertain the idea of what would it be like to cultivate empathy and understanding with them. If you're not there yet, no problem. So some of the tools that we use following those three steps that I just described are, we go inside and we look to see what's true for us. And then we ask questions about what's true for us, and we write, and we trust what comes out. This is the way insight and change flows and happens. This is the way that we connect to our body, connect to our own inner wisdom, and bring that wisdom out. So part of this is you're going to be writing today. So if you have a pen and paper near you, that's great. If you're going to be writing on a device, if you can open it to whatever application you're going to be writing in, that's great. I'm going to give you a moment now, just in case you don't have a pen and paper or your device near you, to get that right next to you. The next thing we're going to do is a process inside, and I want to have you all set to write when we come out of that process. All right, great job on getting all set to write. And if you're used to going inside, this is going to be easy and you can drop right in. If you haven't done a lot of meditation and sort of inward exploration, this may be new for you. So take it at your own pace. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and have your feet on the ground. I'm hoping that you're in a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. And I'm going to cast my eyes down so I'm not looking at you during this process. So again, letting your eyes gently close and just dropping inside, feeling your feet on the floor, and just bringing your attention to your breath. Noticing if you're breathing into your chest, or breathing all the way down into your belly. Placing a hand on your belly, and just allowing your breath to deepen. Feeling your in and out breath all the way in your belly, and just being aware of your body simply sitting in the chair, the place that you're sitting. Just your body sitting there, touching whatever it's touching as you breathe into your belly. And as you just deepen your breath, feel your own body sitting, notice how you're feeling. As we slow down and pay attention to our body, what do we notice? What do we notice as we get still and we drop into our own body? Now gently placing the other hand on your heart, and just allowing your heart to soften a little bit. And as you let your heart soften a little bit, just notice what you might be carrying in your heart. We often get so busy that we're living over these emotions that are right there at the surface. So as you pay attention to your heart, just notice what emotions are present there. Again, seeing if you can give just a little more space to whatever you're feeling. Often when I drop inside, I feel some anxiety, I feel some sadness, I feel some grief, I feel some anger. There's a lot of stored up feelings that I haven't felt because I've been going too fast. So just giving yourself a minute, softening your heart, and letting yourself feel whatever you feel. Giving your body permission, giving your heart permission to be wherever it is in this moment. And now, I'd like you to bring up in your mind someone you've been judging. Someone that you have resentment towards. If you're like me, several people immediately come to mind. The person might be a political figure that you don't personally know. It might be an ex-partner. It might be a coworker or a friend. But pick one of those people that comes to mind. Preferably someone you personally know, but not the person today that you feel the most charge with and the most resentment towards in your life. So if 24/7 this ex-partner is keeping you up at night, that's not the one to choose today. We're going to start kind of in the medium range. Someone that you know and you have resentment, but that resentment is not totally overwhelming. It's not something that occupies your time 24/7. So once you have that person in mind, start to let the judgments and resentments you have towards them come up. Just like you're opening the door. And give yourself full permission to see and feel all the ways that you felt misunderstood by them, wronged by them, treated unfairly by them, the ways you felt misunderstood by them, disrespected by them, all the ways that they have wronged you. You don't have to be a nice person in this part. Just let all of that resentment come into your awareness. Let yourself feel like you're opening the door and you're having a party for all your judgments, for all your resentment towards this person. This is free reign to see all the things that they have done wrong and all the emotions that their behavior has brought up for you. All your own feelings towards the things that they've done, the situations that have come up between you. Now I'm going to ask you, since you've got this party of resentment and judgment going on, to take it to the next level. So whatever level you're feeling those judgments and your own resentment towards them, see if you can up it a little bit. Yeah, they are a motherfucker. Just really let yourself feel your anger at them, your resentment towards them, how wrong they are. Just take it up a notch. Give yourself full permission to just really, really judge them. And notice as you judge them, as you take it up a notch, how does it feel? Is there a way that it feels really good to be the righteous one who has been wronged and mistreated? I know that's true for me. See if it's true for you. Is there a way that when you cast them as the villain, when you cast them as the one who has done something to you and yourself as the righteous one, is there a part of you that feels good? And if so, just really let yourself feel that. And maybe if you're like me, is there a way that you feel caught in a familiar loop that makes you feel angry, hurt, and powerless, and maybe a little hopeless about this person and maybe even people in general. See if there's a quality of being caught in a loop, in a familiar loop that doesn't feel so good, that doesn't inspire you. It actually feels like it just goes on and you can't get out. And if that's true for you, if you can feel that loop in action, start to notice how long you've been feeling all the feelings that you're letting in right now towards this particular person. How long has this loop been going on? And now as you're upping your level of self-honesty and really looking to see what's true, how much of your energy is this person, is this situation taking? How much time do you spend resenting this person, making them wrong? Now starting to look a little deeper and seeing how your resentment towards this person might affect other relationships. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, your ability to trust strangers. How does it affect your home life? How does it affect your work life? How does it affect your physical and emotional well-being? This resentment, this judgment you have against this other person, with this other person. And most of all, how does it affect your inner peace and calm? Are you able to be peaceful and calm while you're resenting and judging this person that you've chosen? How does it affect your ability to focus on the things that are most important to you? Just allowing yourself to really let in the cost of holding this resentment, this judgment with this particular person. Now, allowing yourself to see the lies that you've told yourself about resenting this person. Maybe it doesn't really bother me. I don't let it get to me. I'm able to separate my feelings. I don't really care what this person does. Those are definitely things I've all said. I said all those things with the people that I told you about in the beginning of our time together. So what are the lies that you tell yourself about what this relationship cost you? How do you minimize its effect? And now allow yourself to see the truth behind those lies that you've told yourself. What does it really cost you? How much energy are you really giving? And as you cultivate that deep self-honesty, I'd like you to bring up in your mind this person's worst qualities. Maybe they're self-absorbed. Maybe they're uncaring. Maybe they're selfish. Maybe they're mean, maybe they're dishonest, maybe they're manipulative, maybe they're closed-minded. Make your own list. What are this person's worst qualities? What are the things that you say about them in your mind as you make them wrong, as you judge them? Make that list in your own mind. Can't get it wrong. And now as you have that list in your mind, take an honest look and see if you can see a time or situation in your life where you have displayed, expressed, embodied each of those same qualities. Really take some time, and even if it was internally, when have you displayed those qualities? And I'm going to stretch a little further and say, maybe it's a time when other people have perceived you displaying these qualities, even though you didn't think you were yourself. Again, some of those qualities are self-absorbed, uncaring, selfish, mean, dishonest, manipulative, closed-minded, or whatever the qualities were that you assigned to them. Can you think of a time when you know you were embodying those qualities, or when you think or heard that another person was perceiving you as embodying those qualities? And how does it feel to be open to the possibility that someone else may perceive you or have perceived you in the same way you're perceiving this person you're resenting, this person you're judging? Maybe there's someone else doing this video right now and you're the person in their meditation. And they're writing down the same qualities that you're writing down. Maybe you are that person for somebody else. I just want to pause and say, you're doing great work. And I'm going to ask you to do one more stretch. But it takes a lot of courage to look honestly and to let go of a position. And this is work that most people are not willing to do. So thank you. And the stretch that I'm going to ask you to do is to imagine that you are the person that you've picked for this exercise. You're them. Imagine yourself dropping into their skin the same way that I dropped into JD's skin and Pascal's skin. How does it feel to be them? What is behind all of their aggression, their confidence, their arrogance, their manipulation, their uncaring or selfish attitude? What does it feel like to be them? And what is the internal backstory? What can you know about them that others don't know about you? Other people that are misunderstanding you, that are judging you, don't know about you. And as you let yourself, for a moment, live in their skin, what are you learning about the person behind the behavior that you resent? What are you understanding about them? Really let yourself feel what might be going on for them, what might be motivating them, the world that they might be navigating, the obstacles, the difficulties, the conditions, the past that they might be navigating. What's behind this behavior that you resent? Allow yourself to just spend these last few seconds in their skin as them, understanding them from the inside. Now, as we come back into our own skin, our own body, our own heart, feeling our own breath, allow yourself to see how you may have contributed to this situation or this behavior that you resent. How did you help it along? How did you contribute to it? Can you see any ways that you've been displaying the exact characteristics that you're judging, either with this person or in other areas of your life? Just look and see. And as you look and see, letting yourself know again that it takes enormous strength, courage, and commitment to be accountable, to be honest with yourself. And as you look and see from your own body how you might have displayed these same characteristics that you're judging, start to notice what else you might have in common with this person that you've been resenting. What do you have in common? What a huge step to actually see how we are like the person that we are resenting. And again, I just want to say this is incredibly deep work. If the leaders of the world were willing to do the work that you're doing today, maybe we'd have a few less wars and a lot more collaboration. So now with both hands on your heart, thanking yourself for being willing to take a deeper look at the cost of this one resentment. Sending yourself huge love, appreciation, compassion. You're a human being, doing your best. You're in a rare, special group of human beings willing to take an honest look inside. Just really thanking yourself for the willingness to take an honest look. And if a lot of this resentment still feels unresolved, know that this work that you've done today will keep unfolding, that you've planted seeds. And as you seal up that compassion, that appreciation, that gratitude towards yourself for the work that you just did, allow yourself to gently come back. All right, again, fantastic work. If it still feels like so much is moving in you and you're not quite to the place of seeing what you have in common with the person that you're resenting, if you're not quite at the place where you see the cost of resentment, lots of space and lots of compassion. This work is gradual and it evolves. You've opened doors and you've begun the journey of self-honesty, and that's enough. So we're going to continue this journey with the writing exercise that I promised. So if you've got your pen and paper ready or your device open, how it's going to work is I'm going to give you a question, and then you're going to see a slide with that question on it and a timer at the bottom. I'd like you to write on this question until the timer ends. If you want to write more, totally fine. I want you to do that. Just pause the video, write as long as you want, and then start it again. And the first question is, I'd like you to list all of your judgments and resentments about the person you chose in the exercise. So I want you to write down all the judgments and resentments about the person you chose in the exercise. Go ahead and start now. Great job. And I'm thinking that was a pretty strong list. Now the next question is, what is the personal cost to you of continuing to hold this resentment? How does it directly impact your internal and external world? What's the cost? Write it down now. Great job. Now going back to one of the questions or the invitations in the meditation, I'd like you to describe a time when someone may have perceived you as displaying the same qualities that you resent in the person you chose for this exercise. A time when someone may have perceived you as displaying the same things you resent in this person you chose for the exercise. And this question is really from the time you spent in the meditation, in this person's skin, being them. What are some possible circumstances or reasons that may have contributed to this person's behavior or the situation in general? What are some possible circumstances or reasons that may have contributed to this person's behavior or the situation in general? Write them down now from your time in their skin. So continuing from the work you did inside your skin, inside their skin, what did you notice? What did you learn from being inside of them, from their perspective? What did you learn about their perspective? Write it down now. Great. Coming back into your own body, just a few more questions. In what ways can you take responsibility for your part in the situation and for the relationship you have with the person you chose for this exercise? How can you take responsibility for the way things are? Write them down now. So you're on a roll. Great work. And we're going to take it just a little bit deeper before we end. What might be in the way of shifting your relationship with this person? What could you do to shift your relationship with this person? Write it down now. Okay, so this is where the rubber hits the road. What commitments are you willing to make to take positive action and further responsibility around your relationship with this person and this situation that you've been resenting? Write them down now. What commitments, and don't make a commitment unless you're willing to follow through on it, are you willing to make to take further responsibility and take positive action in this relationship with this person that you're resenting? So I want to invite you to reread everything that you've written. And of course, this video is here for you to watch as many times as you want. And if you want to fast forward to just the internal process and do it with a number of people, it works to do it again and again. And I use it myself. I use the internal process myself. So take the commitments you made seriously and have integrity with yourself and keep finding ways to have more accountability and start to notice the times when you do feel empathy and understanding, when you do allow yourself to enter into someone else's perspective, to enter into their skin, how they might be seeing things and experiencing things, what might be behind their actions that are on the surface offensive or feel disrespectful. Cultivating empathy and understanding is for you, not for them. Has benefits for them, has benefits for the world, but it's really for you. So I invite you to keep going with this work. It's been amazing to share this space with you. I look forward to seeing you in another virtual class just like this one or in our TDA. See you soon.